Lately in the market, there's been a bunch of demand for compact weapon lights. What I mean by a compact weapon light is one that when attached to a Glock 19 size pistol comes up approximately flush with the muzzle on that pistol. And in addition, there's a desire to have switching systems that work very well either for the trigger finger or more likely for the reaction side hand thumb with a downward activation. There's been some lights on the market that use push in, and there's been a desire to have some activation by pushing down, which feels a little bit better to the end user and a little bit more positive. One of the lights on the market that has almost fit the bill has been the regular TLR-7. It had side buttons which were not appreciated by a lot of the market. So recently, StreamLight came out with the TLR-7A with high and low switches. So you can get them in either. The low switches come out and come down a little bit lower, but these can be activated with your reaction side thumb. The trend on the market is to have both a constant and a momentary activation. Momentary is where you hold down that button and it activates, and as soon as you let off, it deactivates. Constant is you push this button for a fraction of a second and it stays on without pushing the button. Both of these lights have the constant on as well as the momentary. Both of these lights weigh in at approximately the same weight, around 2.4, 2.6 ounces. Both of these lights come with keys that mount them securely on the rail of a Glock, which is the most common pistol. And then they also come with additional keys to allow you to adapt to additional pistols. The TLR-7A spec is 500 lumens of light output. The NightStick TCM 550 XL comes in at 550 lumens from the manufacturer. Now, we tested these at our test range, and we found that the TLR-7A max lux was 660 at our 15-foot distance, and the NightStick was 640 at our 15-foot distance. So these two lights come in very comparable on light output. I do find it interesting that in our testing, the StreamLight was slightly brighter, even though the output rating from the manufacturer was less. StreamLight tends to have a little bit hotter center, whereas the NightStick tends to have a large area that is all got about the same illumination. The NightStick tends to be a little bit whiter of a light. The StreamLight's a little bit warmer. Switching from the TLR-7 to the NightStick, I was taken back a little bit by the switches being easier to activate, where I actually tried to take out some of the slack, and when I just barely touched it, it activated. I think that's something that if I were just to get used to it, it would be no problem. Empty. So in our shooting tests, I found that the activation with the StreamLight was a little bit harder of a press to keep that on, and it felt like a little bit more resistance on my finger versus the NightStick, which is a very light press. I don't have a great way of measuring that, but it is a very light press. The NightStick operated very quickly and easily for me. I did find that occasionally when I was positioning my thumb over the switch, that I would activate it accidentally. It is such a light touch to get that turned on. But when I was shooting, I could hardly tell the difference between the two. The NightStick is not going to have as many holsters available. We have one of our inside the waistband holsters here for the NightStick. It's a good inside the waistband holster. The wild card, I think, between these two lights is going to be durability. You drop it on the concrete, is it going to continue working? Is it going to continue working day in and day out, in and out of the holster, doing a bunch of training rounds? We don't have the data today to say that the NightStick is comparable to the StreamLight. The StreamLight is known to be a fairly reliable lighting system. I think that as NightStick continues to come out with new offerings, we're going to see a lot more holster selection from them, and I think we're going to see a lot more new products that hit a sweet spot in the market. For me, the NightStick is a good alternative to the StreamLight. If you're price sensitive and you want to run something that's not quite as expensive, the NightStick might be a good option. I personally will want to see more rounds, more testing, more torture testing of this light before I'm comfortable running it on my daily pistol.